Hi, so this is class example 1 for lesson 1. We're going to be looking at this comparison between fundamental counting principle for B and the tree diagram. Now, I've already drawn this in so you can take a look at it, maybe pause it and make sure it makes sense to you, where we've got these three different parts, these three different layers for these colored toys. The point of this exercise is to show you how to do a tree diagram, which is a very useful backup for questions because it really illustrates every possibility you can have, visually. But it's a strong arm technique, meaning that it's if you have a lot of different scenarios, it's going to take you a lot of time to get them just right. Whereas the fundamental counting principle is pretty fast and easy. So we've got the answer written up there as 24. And we are looking at these toys. Top is these 4 colors. Bottom, the middle would be these 3 colors, and then the bottom would be 2. And so, you could count them up right there. Now I'm going to get rid of this illustration fairly soon to get some space to do the tree diagram. Because the tree diagram is essentially just that, a tree diagram. And the more variables you've got, the bigger it gets. So if you are going to do a tree diagram, give yourself a lot of space for it. So I've got it cleared away now, and let's start. So I'm drawing a little point right in the middle, and I always struggle with these because I run out of space, so it's going to get a little bit cluttered, and you might end up doing it much better than I can. But I want to get those 4 scenarios, or 4 possibilities, I should say, for red, white, blue, and pink. So therefore the 4 little lines indicate that. There's red, there's white, there's blue, and there's pink. And then from there, I continue with the tree. And this is the next 3 for part 2, orange, purple, and black. So I extend 3 away from the top one, orange, OP, and B. And then I do the same thing for this, OPB. Now we are running into a bit of a problem. It won't be an issue for us, but you shouldn't really be using B for 2 different colors, or P for that matter. In this case it won't matter, just to illustrate it, and we'll see this again later on where it's something we want to be careful with. Anyways, now for the last one we've got yellow and green, and that's going to, we draw a tree, both those branches out of O first off. And I'm going to do a shortcut this a little bit. I'm going to copy this in rather than write it. It is getting a little bit cramped, and this is the thing you got to watch out for. When you're doing this, give yourself lots of space. And you may never do one again in this lesson, although I've seen students use them quite often in times when they don't have to, just because they see it and it occurs to them, and it is pretty reliable. It's just you got to do an awful lot of them. I got to go a little further down here to get them all in. And all you do now is you count the number of total branches you've got. And really you're working out the scenario. So I'm going to get some colors going here just to draw this out, and I'll just walk this one off the top, mark it off, which would be red, orange, and yellow. That's the first one. So let's just draw a line over top of that. Get this color there, right? Give me a sec to get this. There we go. Yeah, okay, let's go across there. So red, orange, and yellow. There's the first possibility. And then we do red, orange, and green. And then red, pink, and yellow, and so on and so forth all the way. So you walk all those ones down, and I mean it can get messy if you're not careful, but we don't really need to do that. They didn't ask for specifics, they said how many. So let's just count them all off. And as tight as that is around there, if you do it properly, you'll get 24 of them. It does work. So I hope this doesn't turn you off tree diagrams, because it will work, but there is a faster way, and that would be referring to the fundamental counting principle. So I just want to make a couple notes here on this before I get on to that part. And the fundamental counting principle, you will recall what it means, which is essentially you multiply the number of choices for each part or each slot. And so it's really, really simple. And just to write that out, it's the number of A choices, B times C. So for the 3 different parts, the number of choices for each one, multiply, because it's and. It's going to be red for the first one, white, blue, and pink, 4, and then 3, and then 2. And it's and because it's going to be, it must be all 3 parts. So we multiply them together. 4 times 3 times 2 is equal to 24. And there we have it. It works out pretty well. So you'll continue to work with these ones for the rest of the unit, and probably and hopefully a little more often in the fundamental counting principle. Thank you.